Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, we are going to be walking through the Enneagram personality slash psychometric test, which is one of the better systems out there and is also being used a lot more these days in career advice, career coaching, those sort of areas. So I hope you find this useful. I'll walk you through just the basics of the Enneagram system because it's a very in-depth system. It will take a lot more to understand the deep depths that goes into, and the tests that I've done so far, they've given me good summaries of the system, but I've read other books to get the depth of knowledge for my own type, and I would suggest either getting an Enneagram coach to walk you through your results and actually get a good feel for the various aspects of your results and the strengths, weaknesses, all of those sort of things. So without much further ado, I will show you the two websites that I have done tests on and then go from there, showing my result and how I've looked at it, what the strengths and weaknesses are, etc. Which, by now you probably have seen a common theme across from previous videos. So here we go. So here we are. So the Enneagram Institute is probably one of the main ones by Riso Hudson. Riso and Don Hudson, they were people who wrote about the whole system. They've got books about it, excellent resources. So their test is $12 to do if you go through the Take Ready test. But you can look at the 9 descriptions here. You can get a feel for, if you know yourself well enough, you can get a feel for your type. In multiple types that I've done, type tests that I've done for the Enneagram, this has been my type. So, yep. So you can see what the tendency is like for you to be. And there's the 2 different types of wings. So there's even more depth that comes into having the Enneagram with a 4 wing and Enneagram with a 6 wing. So that's like if you're a 5, 4 is here, 6 is here. There are some characteristics that can, because it's kind of like almost a spectrum, you can have some characteristics of this, the 4 or the 6. And in that case, in my case, it's more the 4 than the 6. So mine is a Enneagram 5 with a 4 wing, as it's called. So there's some examples of people there, mostly philosophers and those sort of things, people. And then we go down, philosophers, some entrepreneurs, more tech-oriented people, which I've kind of fallen into the tech side and then gone into tech leadership, which, it was long before I even knew of these things, so just fantastic. And yeah, it goes a bit more deep into all the positives and negatives and how you can be at your healthy levels. So there's 5 levels for each of them. At your healthiest, you're as my healthiest, and as a 5, might be a visionary, looking at the world in very different ways, and seeing the future in a sense of probabilities. But as it goes down to like an average natural without much work and much fine-tuning, you'd be somewhere in this level. But at really high stress and being in a situation where you're out of your comfort zone, so to speak, you tend to get into here. So level 7, you can become reclusive. 8, to become obsessed by things and almost delirious, almost kind of like the character from Beautiful Mind style thing. And then here it just goes to complete psychotic break sort of thing. Again, that's the opposite of the visionary thing, where visionary you're still being concrete in some ways, going, this is a positive possibility. And at the lowest level, as you can see, it's a psychotic break from reality. You don't see reality as it is at all, and there you lose that visionariness and goes completely flips to the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, so that's the Enneagram Institute.com website. Psychology Junkie's got some really good content around Enneagram, and they've also got some content around MBTI. But I find the Enneagram content really useful. So if you go to psychologyjunkie.com and click on Enneagram, they've got some information here, and then you can go to each of your types and based on the test. And they've also got the opportunity to do the test for free. So you can do it from the Psychology Junkie website. If you go to personality tests, I believe you can do it on this page. Yep, so you can go to your Enneagram type and do the Enneagram type there. So this is the result that came out. So Enneagram type 5, independent, curious, maverick, which is all things that I know about myself. It's more a confirmation of what I already know in that sort of sense. But as you can see here, we all have, again, can disintegrate into there, and basic desires to achieve mastery and understanding. Fear is to be incompetent, incapable, useless, and I can completely understand those, because that has been, my life's journey. So from that perspective, you can look at that and see how you can leverage these strengths to achieve outcomes that you want out of life, whether it's career, whether it's life. Your tendency to want to achieve mastery and understanding. My tendency to want to achieve mastery and understanding means I know that I like to understand multiple viewpoints before I come to conclusions about certain things. So I'll do a fair bit of research and try to understand. At the same time, there is a tendency for me to act without, too much information. So there is a kind of a balance that works there. I've got to be conscious and not let myself get stuck into paralysis analysis. At the same time, not make impulsive decisions without the information, so that I lose that, feel that sense there. So that's pretty much the results that I've got. You can see the best and worst. Again, Psychology Junkie's got some really good content around Enneagram, and you can go to your type, and there's an article that says the best and worst versions of every Enneagram type. So once you get your results from the personality test that they do for free. So yeah, this website, Psychology Junkie, has lots of information, best and worst of each type. So do the test there. It's free there. And then you can look at your result and look at your best and worst. And your best is where your highest leverage, highest value creation is. Your worst is what you need to be aware of and need to put in place things so that you don't get sucked into that side of things. They also have a deeper thing of each type, which you can go through and have a look at, including a lovely little infographic. And this was from a website called lifegoalsmag.com, and they have career paths for each type, which is again an interesting one to go through and have a look at. So that's pretty much it. It's just a overview. Couldn't go too much deeper because of the depth that the Enneagram covers. Yes, each one of the systems does have a lot of depth to it. And I've spent many years trying to understand all the systems. Enneagram is a more newer system that I'm working with. Although I did do my test a few years ago, I haven't gone as deep as I have gone with the other systems. So this is the depth I have at the moment, and there's a lot of information on those two websites, as well as lifegoalsmag.com, that you can utilize to figure out your strengths, your weaknesses, and things that you could put in place to mitigate weaknesses in your career and life journey. So hopefully that's helped you out with the Enneagram, to help you go a bit deeper into the system and to understand yourself, how you operate, and how you naturally create value in this world. And so you can utilize that for your career growth and your life growth as well. So I wish you all the best on your journey as a technology professional and as a technology leader. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and do follow the work on this channel. If you have any questions and you have something that you'd like me to answer or cover, please do leave me a comment with the question and what you'd like me to cover, so I can cover that in a future episode. I wish you all the best. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.